We are live, my brother.
Hello.
Dangerous Freedom. Thank you, sir, for joining me tonight. This is
Oh,
our regular meeting time, the Dangerous Deplorables.
anytime.
That's us. Any time of the day. You never know when you might catch us.
We're always
As a
ready.
matter of fact, Fridays look like we might start doing that regularly around 2 or 3 o'clock on Friday. That might be a lot of fun. Since you're off on Fridays, sometimes you have to
Yeah,
work,
I've
but
got work sometimes, but
yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
normally.
so that would be good. And that's what we're trying to do is to have a little fun here and get some information out and just be ourselves. And we are good friends. So I have to welcome everybody to Dangerous Deplorables. We don't have but 9 in here. We need one more.
Hey,
We need one more and we can get started.
Margot, battery addiction. Hello. Ashley.
Is Ashley in here? Hey, Ashley. I'm on a delay, so I don't get the chat as soon as.
I just need an address to send it to.
Yeah, okay. I stepped on you there, Dangerous Freedom.
Oh,
Ashley, he said he just needs an address to send those Skittles to. So contact Dangerous Freedom and let him know. Hey, History B, how you doing?
B.
Great to see you here. We were talking about you earlier, American Joe Show. Yeah, let's roll. We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
welcome everybody here again.
got a few topics.
Yeah, let me hop off of this just for a minute. Dangerous Freedom and I hope to bring you some news and insight into our live stream. We're not on a schedule, we're not on a script other than this. So please feel ready to jump in the chat in the conversation at any time. When he's talking, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. When I'm talking, he'll do the same. And we'll try to bring y'all in and see what's going on. As soon as I talk to Tony Patriot and I learn how to post the link in the chat instead of an email, I'll start posting the link in the chat and we'll start bringing you on if you'd like to come join us for, a few minutes. But I want to thank everyone coming to my Bible study. But before we get started, we need to thank a lot of people for their support and give shout outs to our friends.
Absolutely.
And just like in our chat right now, we have History B and Disabled Vets Perspective just went off. Tony Patriot on Thursdays. Pete the Patriot, he's here. American Joe Show. This guy is fantastic. He's got a great channel. It's growing. He's fantastic, and he has the time to come in and say hey to us. And that is a blessing, and we thank you for that, American Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Joe.
And we have American Warhorse. We have to remember him, as well as Dangerous Freedom, Liberty Smith, Ashley, everybody that's got content. So if you're in here tonight and you happen to not know someone,
even those without content,
yeah, check them out. Check them out.
To our chats all the time. So you can't just disregard them because they don't have.
That's right. That's right.
We can urge them on, even like we did with Ashley. Hey, it's like, you're always here. You might as well just start making content. And I will urge that to everybody in this chat.
I think I said the same thing to you.
Look at me. I started off, I'm a redneck from Arizona. I started off with gun videos and, all kinds of.
I bleed American
stuff, man. And look at my channel now. I've got over 700 subscribers. So
I would like to think that I played some small part in getting you to do more lives and more videos.
Definitely.
Because we need you out here. We love you. And that's why we're here together, because they love you. We got American Joe Show still here. As long as, what Joe say, as long as Jim Knight is not here, I'll hang out. Yeah, we love Jim Knight. We love Knight's Armory. I've done this a dozen times, and I'm going to do it again, American Joe, just because you're here.
I wore this hat just for History B, by the way.
Dangerous Freedom is going to tell me the name of y'all's website. which I think is American Freedom Supply. Is
Oh
that
yeah,
right?
yeah. American Freedom Supply. I don't,
This is where I bought this
oh,
K bar. Beautiful knife. Look at that handle. I got that from American Joe and Nice Armory at
yep.
American Freedom Supply. So
All
go check
American,
them out.
100% USA.
Yeah. And my
He,
buddy Ron here, we've already been talking. We're going to go back on there and we're going to order. I didn't mean to walk on you, but we're going to order some axes
yeah, well, yeah.
and we're going to get some throwing axes. So we're look for more orders and go ahead and say what you were saying about Big Jim.
Oh, my brother. Oh man, he made a special American flag handled knife out of rebar just for me. And I know Fred, when he sees this, he's going to be like, "Well, I just got a railroad spike." Well, too bad, so sad.
But that's what's really good, Ron. I love it. You and I, we're not in competition. To have ammo or to have guns or to have
well,
knives, but we encourage each other to get more. And the same thing with Fred Knott and
yeah.
other great patriots in here.
Well,
You know,
I did just tell you about my recent purchase, right?
I'll go right ahead. Just tell us about that. That is a good idea, though.
So I've taken instead of putting my toes in the water, I went ahead and jumped in. I ordered my own reloading station.
Now, who told you to do that?
God.
I'm not God. I told you to start reloading your own stuff instead of going and buying
God,
reloads.
dude, God is the one that God has been the one that has been telling me to prepare for the longest time. It's just until recently that I heard him calling me. I mean, I'm not Noah, but I do have many tools. And I finally just got to the point where I was like, you know what, Lord, you're right. This world is collapsing. And like even in the fall of Rome, when the Roman Empire fell, there were a lot of people scattered everywhere. It was like the Tower of Babel. And I don't want to be the one that's going to be one of the scavengers.
Sure. So I think that's a fantastic idea, is to reload your own shells. Do you have that on your? Can you pull that up and screen share the stuff you showed me earlier today?
Oh,
I mean, this is pretty cool. I know that some people, they don't have any idea what it takes to reload ammo. And while you're pulling that up, I want to say again that even though we're called amosexuals, I still don't believe that's a real term. Hey, Alex, how you doing, brother? Luciano? Yeah, I believe American is here. 12B Georgia History B. Linda Horner, my dear friend. Disabled Vets Perspective. Alex out of Florida. Luciano. Black Spring with Autumn. Glad you're here. There's some people here every now and then that I just don't know. But I'm glad you're here. And if you're here, I want to ask you to subscribe to myself and to Dangerous Freedom, as well as anybody in the chat that you don't know. And so, hello, Ashley. Liberty Smith has joined us.
Oh, I see Colleen.
Yeah, Nice Armory. Big Jim's here. Uh-oh. Now we have American Joe and Big Jim from Nice Armory. So now,
man,
we got to have a conflict here somewhere, guys.
Conservative.
So, yeah, y'all feel free to chat.
Man, this is cool.
I mean, come on. We got Willman 757 and Colleen.
Yeah, Willman.
We got Ancient Drummer, Black Spring Autumn, Luciano, Ashley, Margot Dahlgren, and we got American Joe and Nice Armory, Big Jim. So what we need to do is see. I wished I had that little link where I could throw it in the chat, and I'd say, "Come on, Joe, and come on, Jim, and let's hear y'all have it out." I would love that. I would love that. Hey, Jane, how you doing? Vince Dunn. Did you see that the other day, what American Joe did? that video where he was talking so bad about Big Jim, talking about Knight's Armory, about, what he was
Always,
this and he was that. Did you see it?
yeah, he's always
Oh,
been
but it was so cool. At first I looked at it and I went, is he serious? But
yo
it didn't take long for me to figure out that
Liberty.
Liberty Smith still not a shoot. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice. But yeah.
Yours has a laser.
Oh, I love this, guys. I don't know if you've seen it, Knight's Armory, but and the handle back here on the back, it has a laser. I don't want to shine it in your eyes, but
yeah, it's pretty tight.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty nice gun.
You need to get that thing to the range.
Oh, I'll be going probably this weekend. I've got an indoor range that I like to use for handguns. It's on a conveyor belt, and you can run your targets back and forth.
How far? And, about 100.
You can get up to about 100 feet, maybe a little more, but I'm sure 100 feet at least. So that's pretty cool, and it costs $10 an hour. But you go in there, you wear your earmuffs, and you go in there and you shoot all the rounds you can shoot in an hour or 2 hours, however long you want to stay.
Do they have a limit on what kind of rounds you can use in your rifle?
I have yet to see a rifle used there. I don't think that it's long enough. I don't think there's enough distance.
Yeah.
Or something. But yeah, I haven't seen, I've been there many times and I've never seen a rifle. Now we do have a range not far from here that you can shoot rifles. But then again, here you go. You're talking about a membership into a club that's looks something like a Bass Pro Shop or a Cabela's. It's got bars and boutiques and gun ranges and all kinds of stuff in there. It's a social club.
Man, I'll tell you, Cabela's,
I'm not into that.
And you see stuffed bears, man. Anything that they kill, they'll stuff it.
Hey, Memo. Hey, Lynn. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Lynn.
We hit the magic mark, Dangerous. We hit the magic mark of 30. So that is a blessing. I'm going to tell you right now, I never expected that. That is a milestone, and it's something good for us to shoot at because we want more. There's 31. That's it. Keep it coming. Share this stuff out. Share out Dangerous Freedom. Yeah. So
not just one. We got multiple. Okay.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and get started with one of your topics?
Okay.
And when you get into a lull, I'll pick up with one of mine.
All right. This one gets me pretty heated. I don't know if you want to screen share this or I'll just step into it.
If you want to screen share it, I'll blow it up for you.
All right. Let's see. That way the people can kind of read as I am.
Is this the letter that you were talking about earlier?
No, this is the border wall construction.
Okay, we'll talk about that then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I hope you can all see it. So anyways.
Hang on a second. Let me blow it up a little bit.
So this is about the construction of the Texas border wall. Stalls over fights with landowners. Okay, now, granted, these are landowners. Some of them have been there almost all their lives. All right, so 3 years in to the Trump administration, almost no border wall has been built. U.S. Customs and Border has been sending letters and holding meetings for 2 months, asking 120 landowners with riverfront property around Laredo to survey their land. Some have given them permission, and okay, this is what it boils down to.
Okay, when you're done with it, let me know and I'll click it off.
Okay. Since we started building, we've had several people. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, it was just down here. Okay. We have one guy, David Acevedo, who manages 180 acres of riverfront ranch, says he is concerned about a barrier would make it difficult to access the Rio Grande River for irrigation and when pumps fail to for his cattle to drink. And my thought was, well, you make gates. I mean, I've got gates in my fence too. I've got a fence and I've got gates. But anyways, so that was his concern. This is the one that really gets under my skin. There is quite a bit of the land that is owned by Catholic institutions, by the dialysis. What do you call
Diocese.
it? Dialysis, whatever. Okay. They have said a wall conflicts with their faith, citing Pope Francis, who in a May television interview criticized this new culture of defended territories by walls.
Okay, let's stop there. Let's go back to the first one. Let's go back to the first topic. Let's talk about that rancher.
Okay. Yep, the man.
He had 180 acre stretch there on the southern border. Okay, you clicked it off. Good for you, man. Now I'll put us back up there like we were. Yeah, pretty cool. But so you have this rancher now, and he had 180 acre stretch of land on the Rio Grande.
Management. Yeah.
Okay.
He was in charge of it. Yeah.
So if they build the wall, he's going to lose his access to the Rio Grande. Am I right?
That was his worry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he'll lose irrigation and watering rights. Well, we talked about this earlier. Why don't they go out on his land and build him 2 or 4 wells on his land and build him some retention ponds, to have water for irrigation and water for that. I mean, if they're going to take his land, if they're going to build a wall on this side of the border, well, then he should get fair market value for the land, and they ought to go ahead and make sure he has access to water because he's letting them have the land. You see what I'm saying? Compensate him for what he, I mean, it's not that much money to dig 2 or 3 wells. Okay, it's not that much money with the Corps of Engineers. But even better than that, Ron, why don't we turn a hard left? If we're coming from the east, why don't we turn a hard left, build the wall on the other side of the border?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, build it on the south side of the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I think Mexico might have a little issue with that, but.
Well, I ain't worried about Mexico. Let's say build the wall on the other side of the border. And those that do climb up and fall over into the river and make it across, well, we snatch them up because there won't be many, because you're going to have Mexican troops on the other side trying to keep them down. So everyone that comes in the river, like I told you earlier, you walk him around to a 30-foot scaffolding and you open the door, you put him on a slip and slide, and you let him slide himself right back into Mexico. I mean,
oh man,
how easy is that? I mean, that doesn't take a lot of logic. It doesn't take a lot of money. I mean, we can pick up slip and slides all the time.
Find Goodwill.
Sure, hell, we'll run water from the Rio Grande to make sure it's good and slippery as they go down. But send them all the way back to Mexico, and that's what needs to happen. You see, that's the whole thing. We're not doing enough on the southern border, Ron.
Okay.
And yet but tell me, I want you to tell me what you think this rancher's options are.
Okay. So like I said, we do have gates. I've got them on my fences. You could build a big enough gate to where you could allow your cattle to go out. You could, if you had to use canals to irrigate your fields, you could draw them up, go on one side, dig them down, and maybe under the fence. Now that's the only part I would have a concern about, is because under the fence, people would still be able to sneak under that, because it would be just like any other underpass. I mean, people could sneak across that easily. They could smuggle drugs, they could smuggle people, they could smuggle whatever they wanted.
Then you would have to build a cage-like wall or rebar in there to keep people from coming underneath.
Okay, so they would have to do something like that. But you know, the thing that really pissed me off about this was the part I was just telling you about, where the diocese. Oh my
You got it right that time.
yeah, the diocese come in and what in the hell did they?
Yeah, let's talk about that, where they don't want to build a wall.
Yeah, they have a problem with building a wall, and this is from Pope Francis, and I'm like, wait a second, doesn't Pope Francis live in the Vatican City, which is surrounded by, what is it, 70, 80 foot tall walls? And they're out here saying that, oh, we don't believe in those, or we don't condone those, or whatever their verbiage may be. Oh man, I lost the link, but
All right, let me show you something right here.
this is there. They come out and say, well, we don't believe in these walls, in the theory.
Right, look at, I want you to look here. Look at this. Let it suck in, let it clear up. Okay. You see that wall right there above the cars and the trees and the people?
Wow, that's
you see that wall?
It's a good 50 or 60 foot wall.
And that's the wall around the Vatican, my friend.
Yeah. But yet these dioceses down here on the border are like, oh, we don't buy into the wall thing or whatever.
It's not the Catholic way to have walls to keep people out.
They're just as hypocritical as the damn Democrats.
Well, you have to understand, Ron, and I'm not denouncing Catholics. I'm denouncing the hierarchy of the church, and I do that on most religions. I don't try to denounce the people, because I figure they're just deceived. But I'll tell you right now, I talked to a dear friend of mine that everybody on here knows. She's going to be coming on our show before too long. And she was raised a Catholic. And in her late 20s or early 30s, I'm not sure of her age, but she found Christ. And she walked away from Catholicism. Because it's nothing more. It's nothing more than a cult. People are deceived. The same with being a Muslim, you know, it's the same thing. The Jehovah's Witness, the Mormons, you know, if you are not a believer in the Lord God Jesus Christ and his death on the cross and his blood sacrifice that washed away our sins and made us whole, he covered us in his love, and he sits at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for us every time we pray. So we're the Americans, Ron. We've got to start standing up for ourselves. You know, we can't let the diocese of the Catholic Church dictate to us what we need to do.
I don't,
just like no other religion.
Man, I'm telling you, we really need to keep an eye on Virginia. Virginia is.
You got it, buddy.
I'm telling you, that's the hot spot.
It's going to be the powder keg. And when it goes, it's going to go big.
Shot heard around the world once again. I mean, these Democrats, they've got this little tall. Man, have you seen that map? I wonder if I could pull that up. This map of Virginia.
Yeah.
And you got this little blue spot here, a little blue spot here, and a little blue spot here, and the rest is all red.
All red. It's all red. I've seen it. Maybe you can pull that up. That'd be cool. But yeah, he's talking about Virginia being all red. I mean, with just minor little blue spots. And they have a governor there, Ralph Northam. You'll remember him. He was black. He was caught doing blackface, and he got away with it. You know, so nothing was ever said about him being in blackface in a photo. And then he is talking about abortion. This was just after New York had passed their bill of killing a preborn up until birth. Well, he went so far as to say himself that he would execute an infant after birth if the mother and the doctor decided that for some reason or other, even convenience, that they didn't want to keep that baby. That he would personally execute that baby. So what kind of man is this Ralph Northam? He's evil. He's evil. He's satanic. He's from the bottom of the pit of hell. But yet he is fixing to do something that Ron's fixing to talk about. And I believe he's talking about the National Guard.
Oh. Oh. All right. Yeah, that one is a touchy subject for me.
Spill it out there, brother. Just spill it out.
Okay. And I'm sure Knight's Armory, and if American Joe is still here, anybody that served in the Army that swore the oath to the Constitution, if they got an order of you're going to go to this town and you're going to disarm the citizens, you're going to say, you can kiss my ass. I'm not doing that. And I know Jim wouldn't. I know pretty much.
I wouldn't.
All of the military I know would say there's not a chance in hell.
No.
But there are some people out there that still believe in that pension. And, just to make a paycheck, it would be like the SS following orders under Adolf Hitler. When he told them to go out there and slaughter all these Jews, we were just following orders. We didn't let it fly back then. Why are we letting it fly now? These Democrats are getting away pretty much with murder.
Go ahead.
Man.
Spit it out.
Hillary is getting away with murder. The Clintons are getting away with murder, literally.
Amen, brother.
Count higher than most mafia members. I mean, John Gotti, the Clintons are higher than his, yet they're allowed to get away with this crap. Tell me how that's allowed. Tell me how that's allowed. Tell me how we haven't hung these people yet. Because from what I understand, if you're convicted of treason, depending on your crime, you will be hung by the neck until dead.
Actually, that is true, but that's been changed. President Trump, in February, after he was inaugurated into the office, into the White House, he signed an executive order. That executive order said that if you are found guilty of corruption or human trafficking of any kind, you can face the death penalty. Okay? So yes, he made it possible for the death penalty for child trafficking, human trafficking, or corruption of any kind.
I'm waiting.
That includes the Demon Rat Party. That includes Schiff. That includes Hillary, Comey. It includes all of them. But here's where the problem lies. He spent $5.6 million right after his inauguration again, upgrading an 18-bed facility for VIP prisoners at Gitmo. Okay, you had John Kerry. He went to Iran. He ran his mouth to Iran and tried to make deals for the United States, and nobody asked him to go. He went on his own. That's a violation of the Logan Act. Flat out. That's treason. Treason.
They commit it hourly.
Hillary Clinton has committed treason. Barack Obama has committed treason. These people should be locked up in Gitmo or already tried and convicted and executed by a military tribunal.
You know what? I would be okay if Nunez, or what's his name, Johnson. Nunez sits next to Schiff, and was it Johnson sits next to that Nadler? Oh, that.
I don't get that close to those things. I can't watch them.
Would just reach up and grab that gavel and either smack him over the head with it or right up his behind. Yeah.
Well, History B's in here. I haven't seen DM yet, but you're still on the cuss jar limit, so you're doing good, man. You're doing good.
Hey, my buddy Cool Dog.
Oh, okay, cool, cool dog, coy dog.
It's cool, dog.
Is
It's
it? It's cool. Okay, okay, cool dog. Glad to see you, brother. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button before you leave.
oh yeah, he's a California conservative.
I'd sure appreciate it. You know, we do have some
You know,
California conservatives,
he's
and
one of
we ought to think about them sometimes.
he's one of the ones pushing the California limits as far as what rifles and guns you can own. God bless him.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, we need to talk, brother. I'm not a gun man, but I have a lot of guns, as you can see behind me. Let's see. Let's go that way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I love my shotgun,
Shot.
and I just bought a new laser pistol. Works really great. I love it.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's very good. Smith and Wesson 9 millimeter. I've always had 40 calibers, and I'll tell you the ammo is so expensive. I thought, well, why don't I just get this one? It has a 12 round magazine. I carry one in the chamber, so that makes it 13. So
Well,
I'm looking for somebody. I hope it ain't me.
no, I came to the same conclusion. Ammo is getting expensive, so figure I'll just make my own.
That's why. Yeah. Did you ever find that stuff? Was you able to pull that up?
Oh,
The stuff.
I couldn't pull it up. I
Well,
got
anyway, tell everybody what you got. Tell everybody what you're doing. What you're really planning to do here.
I basically I've already got bullets. I've got the brass casings. I just have to clean them out, trim them up. I got the press and I got the dies. I'm gonna buy the powder, and I'm just gonna start making my own bullets. Very.
That's cool.
And then once I get good with the 40 caliber, I'm gonna move up to rifle rounds, and the elongated cases, like that.
Right,
Yeah,
right. For
because
your 223.
yeah,
Yeah,
these are pretty simple. The bullet comes out. You don't have a whole lot of fracture or stress on them. But when you fire one of these or a 308, you get a little bit of stress on that bullet, on that casing.
sure.
So a lot of reloaders won't even mess with them. They'll just trade in the brass for new ones. But man, I'll risk it.
Try it anyway. See how it goes. But you're good on your 40 cals anyway.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's just a walk in the park there.
dude.
It's just you follow the right procedure. Put your primer, your gunpowder.
One thing I've learned is everybody that I've talked to is like, doesn't matter what caliber you choose, you stick to it. You store up on it, but you want to store up on a caliber that's common. Like a lot of people like you, 9 millimeter, dude, very very common around. Your 9 millimeter,
Carbine right here.
yeah, you'll always be able to
That's
find.
a 9 millimeter.
Even
Uh,
even if shit hit the fan tomorrow, you would still be able to find rounds for that. With a 40
yeah,
caliber, so would I. A 223, yes. Even an AK-47 or anything
7.62. Yeah,
right now would be pretty popular. Maybe over time, which one is going to be which one's going to rise to the top? I mean, 40 caliber is pretty damn popular. 9 millimeter is way more popular. Is five and Jim, actually, if Jim's still out here, which one do you think is more popular? Is it 5.56 or is it 7.62? Or Joe, or God bless America? Which one do
yeah,
you think
yeah.
is
What do y'all think is the best round to shoot? If you were going to build a rifle, would you build a 7.62 or would you build a 5.56? That'd be something good to know. And History B, she says, she has to be going. God bless you, Deplorable Bobby, and Dangerous Freedom. Great show. Thank you, History B. Kelly, you're such a sweet lady. Thank you.
12B? Yeah, going with the AK.
Yeah, I'd go with an AK. I'd like to have a 7.62.
I'll tell you what, man. Ash, it looks like Ashley's got a split too. Good night, Ashley. Hey, I need your address.
Somebody's got Skittles.
No, the thing about AK is it's a caliber that when you have to absolutely destroy everything in the room, where at three, it's a smaller bullet. it travels faster than a AK bullet, but still a smaller bullet. But pretty much when you shoot anything with an AK, it's going to destroy everything.
Tap your camera. You're pausing.
Oh, am I really?
Yeah. Just reach up there and tap it. You'll be all right in a minute. It takes sometimes these cameras do that. But you don't want to tell right while we're at a lull, I want to talk about something right quick. Take me just a minute. Gun right advocates are vigorously fighting against Washington State's Attorney General. His name is Bob Ferguson, and his legislation to ban assault weapons and large capacity magazines. But of course, the supporters of the Attorney General say lives will be saved. But all the gun stores, like Mary's Pistols, I like that name, which also sells rifles and magazines. Well, she says that we need to be more concerned how weapons are blamed for every shooting in America instead of the person using the gun. I don't know how many people have been shot by a gun that nobody was touching. I really don't know.
And I'm telling you, I've been trying to train this one for like the last 2 years.
And it just won't do it.
It just won't do it.
Just won't do it.
I smack it around, I throw it, it won't attack. I don't know.
Well, that firearm that you just showed and everything we're talking about is nothing but an inanimate object until a person picks it up.
It's a tool.
And now, since it's in your hand, it's become a tool. And it's up to you if you pull the trigger at this point or not. But either way, this tool is a weapon. But it's operated by a person. See, the gun's not going to do anything by itself. So why get down on the guns? It's common sense that we need to address the fact that people kill people. People who kill others are not swayed, even if they don't have a gun. Ron, even if they don't have a gun, there's dozens of ways to kill someone without even thinking of using a gun. I mean, many people die from stabbings, poisoning, strangulations, starvation, being ran over by a vehicle. I mean, in every situation, people are responsible not to take the knife or the poison or the rope used to strangle someone. And as far as I know now, there's no restrictions on knives or ropes or your vehicle to drive it down the road when it can be used to kill people. So why aren't we doing the same thing to automobiles, knives, ropes, and every other thing that could be used to kill someone? Why?
That's a good
why are we being singled out as evil? It's just like people that get killed with a knife, they don't come take their knives out of their kitchen.
Oh man, I'd rather be shot than be stabbed.
Come on. I'm about done with this, but in essence,
I've seen stabbings before.
I have too. As a paramedic, I saw several stabbings, and it's not a pretty sight. But neither is a gunshot wound. But in essence, the demon rats are going to turn on all of us. They're going to turn all of us into criminals, and that is a lot of people to criminalize. When you start thinking of all the American patriots who own guns, who are law-abiding gun owners, they're going to criminalize us, and that's what they're wanting to do. They're going to criminalize us, and my concern is that soon they will want all of our guns and all of our ammo, just not a particular style of weapon such as the AR. They want all of our guns, and they want us out of the Second Amendment. Yeah, they don't want us to have a Second Amendment anymore. They want to do away with it.
Yeah.
That's what we have to fear. That's what we have to fight, Ron. We've got to fight these people. We can't let them take this right away from us. So how do we do that? How do we fight this fight? I know you just talked to your congressman, right?
Yeah. So, well, my congressman is Andy Biggs. He's already. We share many of the same values. So I'm actually proud of my congressman.
Yeah,
He's
I
one of
like
those,
Andy Biggs.
he's one of those ones that I wish would take that gavel and shove it up
Hey, Jane.
our asses. But there are so many of these Democrats, and I honestly I don't understand how many. I don't understand how they keep getting reelected by these idiots. Other than the fact that they are idiots, they go by CNN or MSN or CBS or whatever. You name your mainstream media outlet, they all push the same narrative. Hell, I've noticed that even Fox News has started to go that way. Have you noticed that too?
Ron, I'm going to tell you. Um, we can thank Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president who succeeded
Yep.
JFK,
We'll get
when
the
he signed in the Welfare Act.
Yep. We'll get them to vote for us for the next 200
They'll,
years.
they'll have these N words voting for us for the next 200 years, and he's right. And what's happening in America today is, but they're waking up now. In the past, it was blind obedience. You know,
Yeah.
if whoever was running, it didn't matter. You didn't even may not even know who's running for office, but you're going to go vote. You're going to pull that handle, and you're going to vote Democrat, no matter if you know anything about politics or even that person. Okay, you're going to vote Democrat because you've been taught since you were a child. Vote Democrat. You get free stuff from the Democrats. But see, that's where it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
Let's don't hold people down with promises of more money. Let's give them an opportunity to learn and to have an occupation and to grow.
Yep.
And whatever it takes.
Just
Start these programs for our youth to where
that's
they learn heating and air or auto mechanics or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know you
Just
might know something about that as a matter of fact.
with my kids, they don't follow politics. Although, Brandon, my oldest, he's now old enough to
Yeah, Ronnie.
He's old. Yeah, Ronnie. He's old enough to vote, and he ran on the Republican ticket. So, uh,
Sure.
but even with that, I told him, Donald Trump is our best bet right now. He really is. He's the closest thing to
Only thing going.
Donald Trump is the closest thing to a statesman that we've had. Oh my God,
Since Ronald Reagan.
no longer than that. Even Ronald Reagan, I mean, he was. Don't get me wrong. Ronald Reagan was the one that came out.
Hey, Fred Knox.
You need to fear the government. I mean, and he's not the first one that's done that. Who was that came out and said we need to fear the
It was Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1959, just before he left office, and he said that we need to beware as Americans
military
of the industrial military complex. He was telling us about this before he left office. In his farewell speech to the nation, he said, beware of the military industrial complex. That's who killed Kennedy, was the military industrial complex.
And you know what? That was just before my time. I was still thought in my parents' loins, but
I was 7, 8 years old almost. I remember it like it was yesterday.
But you know what? From what I understand, is he was going to try and bring down the banking cabal. Am I correct on that?
He had that in his sights as well as ending corruption of all kind.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve Bank, which, by the way, everybody out there, the Federal Reserve Bank has nothing to do with government. They are a private banking system.
So is the IRS.
Totally destroying our country and many others around us. You all need to keep that in mind. They are corrupt. They are the mafia. The IRS is their muscle. The IRS is their muscle, and they use these other bureaucratic offices like the FBI, CIA, ATF, all of them to bring down we the people. I hope you all stay aware of that.
Preach it, brother. Preach it. But see, that's what we need to hear, Ron. We need to hear an American patriot's take on this stuff. I can tell by looking at you. I mean, you're a good friend of mine, and I know you well. You're wound up right now, and
Dude,
but yeah, but we should be.
That
We
testosterone, I've got that, what do they call it? Male, well, I don't even know what they call it. But yeah,
yeah, you got that testosterone thing.
I'm a bit pumped. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bit pumped. But see, that's what we like about you, Ron, and that's what everybody likes about you is you're honest, you're true, you don't mince words, you say the way you feel, and that's the way I am, and that's why we're such good friends because we can talk about anything, even if we disagree. We still get along with it,
I'm trying to
but we disagree on very, very little. I really can't come up with one item right off the top of my head that we disagree on. But you see, here we go. So everybody in the chat, understand this, that you don't have to segregate yourself into your own age groups.
Abolish them.
I mean, Ron's 18 years younger than me, and I'll promise you, he's as much a brother to me as
you, Fred.
More so than my own brother. And there's an 18-year gap there. But we're patriots. We're Americans. We're God-loving Christians. We just want to live another day, in God's grace. We don't want the demon rats to take over. We don't want them to get a foothold bigger than what they already have.
I'm just to the point where you don't tell me how to live. Nobody tells me how to live. I'm going to live the way I want to live. I'm not out there.
Sure.
As long as I'm not harming anybody, no victim, no crime, period. If I want to go out there and sell cocaine, I should be allowed to do that as long as I'm not peddling it to 12-year-olds or something like that. But, if I've got other guys, 30-ish, 40-ish, coming up, hey, man, let me get some of that Peruvian. I think there is no problem with that. And I feel the same. I feel the same way with people that have been to prison. A lot of these people have been in prison for crimes that were not violent. Violence on anybody. They got caught with something that the government deemed unsuitable. And next thing you know, you're doing 10, 15, 20 years in prison, depending on how much you got over a plant. Yeah, and I know that Brian over at High Impact goes on this topic quite often, but I totally agree. And if you haven't committed a crime, if you haven't harmed anybody, no victim, no crime. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, first I've got to reach in there for just a minute, and I'm not finding fault in what you said.
Hey, DM.
But I have a little bit of a different take on, turning the Peruvian and the China white and all that stuff, loose on our streets, with no, nothing. And the only reason I say that, and I know we're talking, adults getting it, but the only problem with drugs that I've seen in my life and in my family is that no matter who buys it, you never know where it's going. You never know who's using it. I had a family member of mine that used to sell her pain pills. She got like 240 a month, and she'd sell these things, make good money on them. $1,800 for a strip or something like that.
Yep.
And I asked her, I says, well, I said, do you know who's getting these pills? Oh, I just sell them to one person. And I said, oh, you sell them to one person. Who does he sell them to?
Half the neighborhood?
Children? No. I'm not going to go there, but I do have a story about someone who sold drugs to children and refused to stop. And the only thing I'm going to say is they did prison time because of it. They were warned. They were warned to stop. I'll go ahead and tell the story and we'll get out of here.
Okay.
My nephew and his best friend, they were 16 years old, working the summer in the glass company that I worked for. There was a guy in there. He was a glass cutter, and he sold cocaine. He sold pot. I mean, he sold a lot of stuff. He was a good friend of mine. I liked the guy, but he kept selling cocaine to these 16-year-old kids. And I kept telling him, don't do it. Don't do it anymore. I said, that's my nephew and my godson. You don't sell them cocaine anymore. Over and over again. And then finally, one day I had enough. I had enough. I told him, I said, if you don't stop it, I'm going to turn you in. He didn't stop. He thought I was kidding. And I have never been a fink in my entire life. Some call me a fink for this, but I call it trying to save my 16-year-old nephew and my godson from this guy who was intent on supplying them. I mean, they'd get paid on Thursday. They'd be broke on Friday because they gave him all their money.
Yep. Yeah.
And here they were just doing cocaine for 2 or 3 days and then starving the rest of the time. I'd seen enough. And so I turned him in. I didn't turn him in for the cocaine. I turned him in for his pot plants. But what kind of idiot's going to have 130 pot plants in your backyard? You know. So anyway, I'm not going to let somebody kill my nephew, you know, with their drugs. So I did something. I've regretted it over the years because I am not a fink. I've never finked on anybody in my life but him, if you want to call it that. But I call it he'd been warned. I don't feel like that. It wasn't something he wasn't expecting because I told him I was going to do it.
You told him, hey, quit selling to my nephew.
And I told him that multiple times.
Man,
over and over, and he never listened.
Honestly.
And finally, I had enough.
Bobby, the only other way I could see it is go up to his doorstep with a pistol in your hand and point it at his fucking head and say, if you sell this shit to my cousin again or my nephew or whatever, you know, I'm going to do it myself. You decide to use the police, which I mean, me personally.
Well, actually, I used the GBI, and they came in with helicopters and landed in his backyard.
DM. Sorry.
Hello, DM. Is she in here?
Yeah, DM's in here.
Okay, I didn't see her. She came in the last minute. We still have Ryan Bardwell. He's in here talking to people. We got 12B Georgia, Fred Naut. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yeah, it is. You know, I think all of us, not all of us, but a lot of us, especially at my age, you know, you grew up in the hippie era and you tried all kinds of stuff. And I'm not going to lie to you. If you ever ask me what I've done, I'll be happy to tell you. Maybe we can talk about it on the telephone. We're not going to put it on YouTube. But
no.
Well, while we're thinking about that, let me put this up here right quick before we leave. We got 5 minutes. I want to put my phone number up there. I had a real problem with that internet number that I was using. It would ring hardly never. And then when I tried to call people back, it would say call can't be completed and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going back to my original phone number, which is 404-938-7562. Call me, text me. You want to come on the show, just let me know. And we'll have you on here. If you don't want to come on tonight with Dangerous Freedom and I on Sunday, then we can do it on a Wednesday or a Friday.
Hey,
but everybody.
In fact, you know what? Maybe we should do that on our next chat. You know, we'll have a few topics and then we can take topics from the crowd because, you know, I mean, a lot of people are talking about this impeachment thing. Me personally, I'm looking closer to Virginia. I mean, I'm keeping a close eye on Virginia because I really have a feeling this could be the landmark. I mean, this could be our revolution 2.0.
Virginia is definitely a powder keg right now. And I mean, it literally is when you start dissecting it to all the variables and the way it can go, the way it might go, and the way it's probably going to go.
Even
because we don't know. We don't know. We can only speculate. but I don't see good coming out of it.
No, no, it's going to be violent. It's going to be ugly.
I mean, anytime you have a governor going against how many? 75 sheriffs?
I don't know. Can they? I don't know. Maybe there's a way that enough of the people could get together and undo the election that was done back in what 2019 and get them kicked out before they even take office. I mean, is that possible? Does anybody know?
Well, he's already in office.
93 out of 100. I think they've only got 95 counties in Virginia, Fred.
And I think 38 independent cities.
75, 80 of them have already gone Second Amendment sanctuary.
So he says he's not going to retaliate.
Right, Lone Star. He keeps his rifle and body armor.
Hey, Lone Star, good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you before. Be sure you subscribe and like and hit that bell icon.
Yeah,
Lone Star. Yeah, keep commenting.
Yeah, Lone Star and I, we go back a little ways.
Lone Star, I appreciate you being here, brother. Make sure you subscribe and keep coming back.
Oh man, he's a good guy, man. He's just he's a Texas guy, just an average guy like me, but he keeps an eye on things. Like he does food prices, and I kind of took off on that a little bit. I haven't been keeping up on it, but I will. I'll try and update you there, Lone Star Preps, because I noticed that meat is getting a little bit expensive lately. But anyways, okay, back to you, Bob.
Back to me. Well, I was going to read something right quick, but it's going to be too hard to find on my phone, I think. Oh, I got to tell this right quick. We got 1 minute. I got to tell you about the man who died after a booby trap device he set up in his home went off and killed him. You believe that? This guy had handguns hooked up to his doors in his house. And evidently, I don't know if he forgot or he was just an idiot, but he opened the front door and he killed himself. So, see, you got to be careful about how you play with handguns. Gun safety always first, right, Ron?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Always first. So everybody,
and save the record.
Well, I want to thank y'all for being here. We got 29 in here. We've maintained the 30 most of the night and up to a little higher, which is a sure enough success. So, and we got DM the mod in here. She came in at the end. It's always great to have her, bless her heart. Her and History B and the memo and Linda Horner, Lynn M. I mean, there's so many people that we can thank. We have God Bless America, Gary Holland, California Critic. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You could take any supermodel from California and put them up against our Patriot women. Won't hold a candle. Not a chance.
Well, I'm telling you. Oh, and by the way, we're fixing to get out of here, my friends. But I want you to know that I've been talking to Charity Clarity. Oh, and she's going to come on. We don't know when yet, but we're going to do a show with her. And I want you to be sure that when that happens, that y'all come in and support her and us. So we're going to say good night to Lynn and God Bless America and Gary Holland, California Critic, my brother, Lynn M, DM DeMod, 12B Georgia, Prompus, Luciano, Lynn M, Benny Mabe. I don't know if that's Mabe or maybe, man. You got to tell me that. And then we had Fred Nault, my Beowulf brother, Ryan Bardwell. So thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for hanging with us. We're just trying to have a little fun and get a little information out there at the same time.
I'm going to see if we can't get California Critic in here on one of these streams.
California Critic, you just heard him. Brother, you want to come on? You know my email. You know my phone number. Feel free to call me. We also are trying to do a Friday show. We aren't sure yet, between 2 and 3, depending on who's doing their shows. We got to get that figured out. Probably around 3, I would think.
It seems
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
3 o'clock would be better because Pete goes on, isn't it?
And Pete kind of just pops on.
Well, anytime. We're not going to walk on anybody.
No.
So if we say we're coming on at 3, and Pete or somebody else is already scheduled and we didn't know it, we'll wait another hour.
Or
We're not
Tony.
going to walk on our friends. We're not
Me,
going to walk on each other.
be like, hey, yeah, okay.
It's
And
not a problem. But we're all brothers and we're friends in Christ. And I want to thank y'all for being here. It's been a great show. Ron, why don't you take us out of here? And we'll say good night. Just any last words you might have.
okay, well, you know me, I'm more of the preparedness type. Um, so just if you don't have any kind of food or ammunition or anything stored up, it's not too late to start. I mean, granted, it's a little late in the game, but if you have even a little bit, if you have a month's worth of food stored up, you're better off than the guy next door to you, most likely. So I would suggest get as prepared as you can. Me personally, I've taken it a step further. I've not only got food stored, I'm starting to make my own ammo. Um, I take things more aggressively.
And you build your own guns.
Yep. And I build my own rifles. So.
There you go. People, want to thank y'all for being here. It's been a great night. Y'all have helped us out a lot. We'll see you back here Wednesday night. Deplorable Bobby will be here. Friday, probably around 3:00. If he's not working, we'll do a show. And then I'll see you Friday night.
I'll be there. After Thursday, I'm off for the rest of the year.
So we may be doing a lot of these dangerous, deplorable shows. So y'all just hang with us, and we'll have fun. Yeah, we all know each other, and if we don't, let's get to know each other. So with that, I'm going to say good night.
Yeah, me and Bobby, we could talk for hours, and
yeah, we can keep going. Yeah.
Next time I'll have more topics.
We'll try to, but y'all hung with us. Everything was great. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you Friday, if not sooner. Dangerous Deplorables. Deplorable Bobby and Dangerous Freedom. Y'all have a good night.
Right.